Now we're going to go ahead and do the Howdy and the boot. Now those came from, let's see, the boot came from Just Because cards, and it's on page 65, and I cut that at 2.5 inches. And I did the shadow and everything, all the layers. Okay? And then the Howdy came from the Create a Critter cartridge, and it is on page 59. And I cut the base once, and Howdy I cut twice out of 2 different colors. I'll show you. Alright, so I cut the base, and then I cut it out of the Howdy out of red and out of brown. Now the first thing is I need to ink all of the pieces, not the dark brown, but all of the other pieces. So we'll put our dark brown aside, and I'm going to go ahead, this is with the walnut ink again. I'm going to ink this boot up. Now I'm doing this one, inking it pretty heavy. Cut over here. And now another technique you can use if you want the edges to be a little darker and to get all the way into the inside is to just kind of go off on the edges. Okay, might have gotten a little too much. Okay, now another fun technique. I ran these smaller pieces through my Xyron sticker machine, and then I go ahead and trace around the edges with a pen or an embossing tool or whatever you have that's kind of small to trace around it with. This keeps the adhesive from gumming up around the edges. Okay, get rid of that. Now, and then the neat thing, the reason I did this one on there instead of just using my 2-way zig is because then I could go ahead and just set that down and ink by going in a circular motion, and use a gentle touch because you don't want any of your cuts to pull up and rip. So just gently going around that. And you can see it just inks. It actually inks the edges a little bit darker, so it works out just perfectly. Okay, now we have this one. Same technique, just rub it in a circular motion. And you notice I'm holding with my fingers these edges close to where I'm inking, which means I'm going to have inky fingertips. And I'm holding those so that they don't rip or bend in ways that I don't want them to. You can also, do the same technique, but I find that I bend them more, but it also gets a little darker. So just, maybe some of both. This is a pattern paper on the other side, and so there's a white core, and so you want to cover that up by inking it. Okay, so those are all inked. Let's go ahead and get those out of the way. Okay, so let's build our boot first. Okay, I'm just going to use a glue runner and put the shadow on, or put it on the shadow, I guess. Okay, so there's the base of the boot. Now, go ahead and put our decorative stitching on the boot. And this one goes, when you're lining this up, it goes right there in the corner of the heel and right to both edges. Okay? And then this little piece goes right here, and I couldn't find it for a little while. Turns out that when you cut this out, if you cut the curly decorative stitching out, this little piece is right there in the center of it. So I cut mine out twice because I wanted this little round piece to be different color than that. And then we have our sole of our boot, the front part. And we just need the last little tiny part. And there it is. So there's our boot. Put on our card. Alright, And now it's time to do the words. And I love how Craft has been doing these where you can layer them in so many cute ways. So we'll just go ahead and dot the glue on that one. Absolutely love it. Okay, so right there, and line that up. Yeah, so there's our Howdy. It wasn't showing up as well as I wanted it to against that pattern paper, and so I went ahead and added this as a background. It doesn't have a shadow. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And so I'm just going to offset it slightly. I'm going to go ahead and kind of dot towards that side of my letters. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and line it up just slightly up and to the left. Just a little tiny bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to give it that little dark outline. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and stick that on my card. And I'm not even going to do the last one. We'll just put it right there. And I think I'll use my glue runner for the boot. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right there. Whoops. Okay, I'm just going to put it right there on the bottom, overlapping that ribbon and onto the blue. And so there's our fun Western way to say howdy. Hi, how you doing? And thanks for watching.